One more from you before we get into this here. This is from Shelley. She said, if you enter a company as a new employee, it's totally reasonable that a peer who's been in the role for, say, 15 years, longer than you, should get more than you. And if you don't understand that, then the company, frankly, is probably better off without you. All right, well, how would you feel about full disclosure, complete transparency when it comes to the money that you earn? A new survey has found that a third of Brits say that they have actually quit their job after discovering that they were being paid less than their colleagues who was doing the same thing. 1 in 4 Brits say that they're not sure that their employer is even paying them fairly.
And in some Scandinavian countries, everyone's salary is accessible to members of the public. So here's the big question, should we do the same?
That's all right. Yeah. Everybody kind of has a general idea of what people make anyway.
I'd want to know how much everybody else is earning so I know if I'm getting paid enough.
Wouldn't mind if I was earning £1 million, but at the moment it's a no.
I wouldn't want everyone knowing how much I earn because that means maybe they'll want favours off me.
I might think differently if I earned a vast fortune, but I never have earned a vast fortune. So, yeah, I don't think it would concern me, really.
Oh, there you go. Well, the Apprentice winner and business owner Marnie Swindles says that making salaries public would equate to a total invasion of people's privacy. But fashion entrepreneur Adwa Osudaku says that publicising employee salaries would eliminate this kind of weird sense of secrecy. So would you be prepared to, have everyone know exactly how much you're earning?
Yes, I think...
How much do you earn?
So I earn anywhere between £1,000 and £5,000 a month. I'm on company's house. I understand that when I sign up, an aspect of my finances will be declared. I often want to educate a lot of women around advocating for themselves. And there is a wage gap. It's 8% at the moment. And I think that it's there for a reason. That salary transparency allows people to understand...
Well, you put your money where your mouth is.
If there's unconscious bias.
But is it different if you're a business owner and it's company house rather than if you are in a company and, well, for instance, like here in the studio? Do you think, wouldn't it be slightly different if we all knew what each other did? Oh, Richard.
I think it's all about normalising what is appropriate in the workplace, and I really feel that ultimately companies that are not willing to foster an open and transparent working environment is actually more costly. If you have high turnover and discontentment within your company, what are you then breeding? You're probably costing you far more in the long run if you weren't to decide to say, OK, I want to create an open, trustworthy environment.
These are quite grown-up points, aren't they?
Chaos. I think it would be absolute chaos to have the whole company know what everybody earns. I would keep my cards close to my chest. I think it's very much a private matter. It's a conversation that should be had between you and your employer. And I think if you have any issues with the pay, again, that's a conversation that should be direct. I don't think everybody needs to know everyone's business.
How much do you earn?
I'm keeping my cards close to my chest. I'm keeping it dumb. I think it's a private matter. And I think there's this massive sense of entitlement to know what everybody...
But do you think it's entitlement, but more about creating an environment where if there are unconscious bias and there are issues of discrimination, understanding why this is happening and getting real data around it will help open it up more?
There's already parameters in place. We know that if a company is over 250 employees, they have to report on the gender pay gap. So I think there are already boundaries in place to ensure that.
But not every company is at that 250 amount. A lot of people are working for small businesses, medium-sized, and it's about levelling the playing field.
I also think we need to be careful about defining inequality in pay and differentiating that between the difference in pay, because if somebody is valued more by the company, is working harder, performing better, I think they justify
Well, let's bring it down to the personal then. I remember when I was at Granada Television many years ago, we always got our pay slips, our monthly pay slips in our pigeonholes. And I took mine out one day and opened it, and it wasn't my pay slip. I opened it by mistake. It was a colleague who I knew did a lot less work than I did, and he was getting more than I was getting. So I went upstairs to the head of HR and I said, look, this isn't fair, I need a rise. And he said, I'm perfectly happy to discuss a rise with you, Richard, but I'm not discussing another worker's salary. It's nothing to do with you.
I think there was unintentional transparency there.
Yeah. So,
I think it's all about advocating for what you want and encouraging that level of, OK, if we're going to be open and transparent, what does it really mean and how is my salary organised? And making sure that people feel empowered to speak up for things that, ultimately, if you are aware that your work and what you're bringing to the table should be valued more, then speaking up about that and understanding what those parameters are.
We shouldn't be using other colleagues as that yardstick. We should be using our own performance as that yardstick.
That's what the criticism of me was, that it was not relevant to talk about him.
Exactly, because I think as a business owner who has employees, I think it's within my rights to justify the difference in pay if there is a difference. that's my right as an owner to value people differently based on their performance and what they bring to the table.
You see, I can't give you a logical reason for this, but I don't want to talk about how much I earn. I don't know why. I think, actually, you made some really good points.
Because you're earning the most. Come on, let's have a look at our online poll, Richard.
I never felt that way, ever. Even when I was a terribly badly played reporter on the Brentwood Argus. Anyway, we did a poll. 5%. Now, go back, please. I want to see these figures again. What was it? 54% said that all salaries should be made public, but 46% said that they shouldn't. So there we go. Pretty much a neat split. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.